Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the cutting room floor. This is a new series I'm starting where I get a behind the scenes look at some of my favorite creators. For episode one, I'm lucky enough to have my role model, I would say, YCImaging, aka Christopher Rhodes. He's a music video director who started way back in the early days of digital video here on the internet and has built his way and made his way to a very high level and now dedicates his time and YouTube channel to teaching people like I was 3 years ago, just starting out, and helps them become filmmakers themselves. So with that being said, I am very happy to get the first episode of the cutting room floor started. Enjoy. We met in real life last month, and something that I noticed is your region of the country is super different. The people are, they're really like warm, and I don't know how to explain it. There's just a different vibe over there. So what I wanted to know for the first question is, what part do you think that Virginia and Georgia has played in your work versus like the digital space and seeing everyone else's work on YouTube and Instagram?
I think the biggest thing it's done for me is made me realize that you can create content outside of bigger hubs, because where I started making YouTube videos and music videos was in a small town in Charlottesville. It's no city, it's no cool buildings, it's not a beach, so I think that's probably the biggest thing that it's done for me. It's just showed me that you can kind of create content anywhere.
Did you ever have like a period of time where you were kind of chasing a specific look from other creators in different parts of the world, and you were kind of down on yourself that you didn't live in a certain type of area?
I wouldn't say down, but definitely I've chased certain looks, specifically with music videos for sure, 100%. You see like these bigger budget projects and they're in like these nice warehouses and like studios. There's no studios or warehouses in Virginia, like anywhere. So, if it is, they're super small. You might get like a corner psych wall or something like that. But I think that's probably the biggest thing for me, trying to replicate looks. But I think that it played like a positive part, honestly, because I figured out like alternative ways to create similar looks for certain things. So, it's definitely been like times where I've found other influential video creations that I've, had to use the resources that I had available to kind of recreate.
Gotcha. Yeah, and your videos, your music videos specifically, have like a very specific, I don't want to say grungy, but very low contrast, low saturation, high contrast look, and I don't know how to explain it. It's just your style. Is that something that you developed, that you wanted to get away from what was already being done, or did you kind of take what was already being done and take it to the next level?
That's an interesting question. I really don't know. I went through like this huge phase where like I think we all go through this phase where we kind of just shoot everything outside, or we just use the lighting available to us.
Right.
And like every time I would, get a little budget, I would go rent these huge, like these small halogen lights that had like no diffusion on them. And then, expose them for highlights. You're just forced to have this crazy contrast ratio.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me realize that I was trash at lighting. So I just wanted to use lighting for every single one of my videos. And I kind of got in like this rhythm of just like 20 videos straight with me just trying to create these super contrasty, like big budget music video looks.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know, like if I ever get an opportunity to shoot a music video, I'm always going to gravitate towards using some sort of artificial lighting. So I don't know if that stemmed from it, but some of my favorite music videos look like that. So
Gotcha. Yeah, because
I guess, yeah.
I asked that because like I'm from Oregon, the Pacific Northwest, and out here, especially 4 or 5 years ago, there was like a very strong Pacific Northwest just look that everyone was going to. Everyone was going to the same spots, the same like the great grading style and editing style, and I consciously said like I'm not doing that. One, because like there's already people killing it and like doing it at a high level, and I'm just, if you copy someone, you're not going to be as good as them, I feel.
Yeah, you'll never be.
Yeah, so I wanted to know if that was kind of the same thing for you out in the East.
Nah, And I say that because like where I'm from, like it wasn't many other people who did music videos, honestly. So
Gotcha.
I'm replicating the look that I see from people like Matt Alonzo in LA, and then, you know, people where I'm from might kind of, you know, see me as an influence. So nah, I'm taking looks from bigger music video directors, because like I said, it's not really many people in the area that I come from who shoot music videos at all.
Yeah, and you started pretty early on T2I days, which is like basically day one of digital video.
Yeah.
Did when you were starting to make music videos back then, did you have any like kind of weird looks from anyone around you, or what was the reaction to that?
It was positive for the most part. Like where I come from, it wasn't people doing music videos much, if any at all, but it was a lot of people doing music. So I think a lot of the musicians where I was at kind of saw that as like a gateway of them trying to, you know, kind of being able to get into the digital space. And I did a lot of music videos for artists in Virginia. So I don't think I ever got any negative stares, maybe like closer to the Gap opening, when, you know, when it became super accessible. But
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't even think that it's a lot of people like back where I live or just in general who have a negative vibe about me, just because I help so many people, you know? So it's just kind of hard for people to find something to be upset with me about, you know?
Yeah, I definitely felt that when I started coming around the music scene in Portland, that I was embraced pretty quickly, just because I was offering something, you know, for them to advance their careers, and I was offering value, and everyone just showed me love because of that.
Yeah, it's like a gateway, you know? It's a lot of musicians who don't know where to go for music videos, and then the fact that we're just getting into it, we don't necessarily have the biggest price for it. So, you know, it's accessible for both of us. We're like meet in the middle and both creating something that's cool. So it's been mostly positive vibes, I would say.
Are you still friends with or work with some of the people that you started with?
Friends, absolutely. I haven't worked with a lot of the artists that I first started shooting music videos with. I think a lot of them kind of just stopped music. So, you know, that's one of the reasons. Second reason I moved. So, you know, that the whole traveling barrier right there adds a whole sense of randomness with schedules and all that stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, friends, 100%. I don't think I ever ended a relationship with the artist on bad terms before.
Gotcha. So next thing I wanted to know from you is, you've succeeded. I think it's fair to say you've succeeded on YouTube. You've kind of like, I don't know if you'd say made it, but you're at like a pretty damn high level. What do you think is next for you? Are you just gonna coast from here? Do you have something that you've set your sights on? Where do you think you're going?
It was a point in time where like I was going hard on YouTube just for the sake of it, just for like the number and the stature and all that stuff like that. But I think once I hit that, it made me kind of revert and think about why I actually started YouTube, which was basically to document what I was doing. So like at this very moment in time, I don't really think about YouTube like that. I really think about, okay, what do I want to do creatively? And then whatever that is will bleed over into YouTube, you know? So that's how I started YouTube. It was like, okay, I got 5 music video shoots this week. Okay, well then I have 5 BTSs and 5 effects tutorials that I can take from that sort of stuff. So I think that, you know, it made me kind of just revert back around to that. So if I'm super into doing music videos, that's the content that people will get. If I'm super into editing effects, that's the content people will get. If I'm doing photography, you know, so I don't necessarily really think about YouTube like that, you know?
How has your audience reacted to that, to the changes of paces that you've gone throughout the years?
It's hard to say, because I think that in the video space, you kind of get value from whatever you look at. Like, I think it's different than like maybe like music, you know, for instance, like with video, regardless if you shoot music videos, or you shoot weddings, or you shoot event recaps, or you shoot, you know, full-on feature films. If I make a video about lighting, you're going to get some sort of value from it. So I think the subject matter doesn't really matter as much as long as people can still take some sort of value from it, And then
Right.
YouTube is just an entertainment space as well. People are just trying to pass time, so they might watch me sit here and talk about a computer, or watch me walk down the street with my dog if they're bored enough. So I don't think the response has changed much of any, because like I said, people are still getting some sort of value from it.
Yeah. So that kind of leads me into the next thing that I've always kind of wanted to know from you, because your channel is so heavy into providing value to other people and kind of reviewing gear and giving tips and showing the behind the scenes process. But I kind of like want to know what your goals for your personal like creativity is, like where, like what kind of, what fuels you? What do you want to make? What do you want to like put out from like your heart rather than just tech reviews?
Yeah. This is like, the answer to this is kind of like all over the place, because I go through creative like inspiration waves. So it's a point in time where I'm super into music videos and I want to be Colin Tilley, or and then I go try a short film in my house and I'm like, I don't really like that too much. But like right now at this very moment, I'm super into like documentary work.
Oh, really?
So I want to get into a space where I'm telling other people's stories in a way that's entertaining and captivating to the viewers who watch them. So I want to eventually start doing some documentary work. Honestly, I started one a couple weeks ago that I'm trying to just getting people scheduled together, man. It's just so all over,
especially
the place,
during these times.
And then people just not being as into it as I am. It's just like working with people sucks, man.
I hear
working
that.
with people sucks, but yeah, I mean, at this very moment, man, I'm into like telling people's story. I think the commercial scene is very interesting to me right now as well.
Oh, really?
Not like product commercial, but like fitness commercials or like stuff like that. I love that, because I'm able to like implement like these different lighting setups that I've learned and mastered from music videos and make something moody that's a short piece. That I'm super into that right now. So if in the near future you see some stuff from me, that's why I'm super into that. I think that concept of content creation is super cool.
Does any of that come from, I'm just speaking from myself because this is something that I've kind of been experiencing over the past like year or two, is like I almost don't want to put all my time and effort into a music video, because like at the end of the day it's just a music video, where like something like a documentary or maybe a high production commercial like has like more value for whatever reason. Is any of that soak into you?
Yeah, that has, but I think honestly I've kind of gotten to a point where I'm unable to see songs different than actually what they are. So like if you send me a song and it got some bass on it and you're talking about some girls and it's super uppity, I instantly see flashing lights, a model, a mansion, and a nice car in the studio or something like so I think that me not diversifying my genre plays a huge part of me not wanting to shoot as many music videos. Yeah. But
do you mean that by like you don't want to do a disservice to the artist? Is that what you're kind of talking about?
No, not even that, because I think the majority of the stuff that I would do, they would be satisfied with. But I think that it's just how often do you want to do the same thing over and over? Gotcha. Again, and I quarantine forced me to just sit down and just analyze, what do I do, or what am I into? So as I sit and I ask myself that, I don't even watch music videos. I'm not even into music videos at all. So it's like, what do I watch? What am I into? And it's just like, I'm into documentaries. I'm into people telling people's stories and TV shows and that sort of stuff like that. So that's the sort of stuff I want to create, man. I love a captivating story that's just captured well. It doesn't have to be super high end. I'm also super into the concept of just bringing a camera and maybe a light and just capturing the emotion of what's happening, rather than we shoot a music video, I bring in 50 lights, we gotta set this up and we do this, and it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. What kind of documentaries are you into, and like what specifically about telling someone's story is attractive to you?
Documentary wise, I'm into all kinds of stuff, man. I like artists a lot, like musicians, and just artists in general as well. I find their lifestyles to be fascinating to me because we all kind of get into a routine of the way we create. And I think that every creative kind of has like a story or like a point in the road where they either had to choose their art or choose the typical life to live. And I love to, hear how people navigated those certain situations.
Yeah. Did you ever go through something like that?
Me and just artists in general, but I forgot the other leg of the question you just asked me.
Me too. But did you ever go through a time in your life like that where you had to kind of choose the normal route versus the creator route?
My route was kind of like untraditional because the majority of people, they start out, they're living their life, they have a job, and then they create all sort of like responsibilities for themselves.
Yeah.
Whether it be rent, a car, phone bill, family, maybe you got babies, you got kids, you got a family to support. And then they try to leave that and then get into the creative world. And I think that kind of stumps on a lot of people's toes because you have all these things to uphold, and now it's hard for you to justify going to do your creative career. But for me, I was doing community college. I never really knew what I wanted to do, but I never really worked a job like that. I think I had like 3 jobs in my entire lifetime. Worked at Old Navy, I worked for the census, and I worked at a grocery store called Giant. But when I went to community college, I didn't have a job. I was just literally living off of student checks.
Yep.
So I never really had like these bulk of responsibilities or like this job to leave. I was kind of just freelancing it for a long time. I was doing graphic design for a while before I even got into video. So I was kind of like eating off that a little bit. So I think my route is just a lot more untraditional than, the typical person.
Yeah, that's kind of how I went too. I was community college, out then part-time at a gym for like 6 months, and on the side I was doing design, and then I was finally able to just go full-time and into creative.
Yeah.
So yeah, same with me.
Yeah, it was basically me. So
yeah, so I think that's the show. Do you have anything you want to say or plug or anything?
No plugs. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
putting me onto the show. I want
sure.
you to create more content. I want to see more stuff from you.
Yeah. I remember. And to that point, I just want to say thanks to you too, man, because for years and years, every time I put something out, I always see like a comment from YC, just sick, man. This is sick. Keep going, and it's been super helpful and cool to see. Except for I remember I've never talked to you about this though. Bro, like 3 years ago, I was watching one of your lives. I popped in, and someone was like, "Who are like your favorite creators on YouTube?" or like something like that. And you're like, this person, maybe Cam. Well, Cam's not really a YouTuber, but whatever. And I was like, my heart. Oh no.
I mean,
I don't
see you as a YouTuber. I just see you as like a traditional, like a filmmaker, just a storyteller. I think your content's beyond YouTube. It's just,
I appreciate that.
You ever see like, it's some people who like, they're just beyond the YouTube platform. And it's just like, it's not to like poop on the YouTube platform or anything, because YouTube is amazing, but it's some people who are just beyond YouTube, like their stratosphere of their creation will grace a lot more places than YouTube. I feel you're kind of one of those people.
Well, to me, anyways. That, man. Yeah, that's kind of the goal, and I appreciate that. So, well, that's the first episode. I appreciate you being on, and I think it went well.
I'm glad in the first episode. It's gonna be hard to do.